right, give you guys a chance to get in real quick. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Let other people know. We're going to go ahead and do a lesson real quick. So let other people know. Give you guys a chance to get in. Shalom, shalom. Come on in, guys. Share it with other folks. Let them know we're in here. If you guys are with me, if you can hear me, give me 100 in the chat. Let me know you can hear me, that the volume is okay. Put a 100 in the chat if you will. Anybody can hear me just fine. Put a 100 in the chat. Awesome. Glad you guys can hear me. Glad you guys have joined. Appreciate one and all. Let's see who's all in here real quick. And I will get to you guys. Also, before we get started, we're going to be talking about tithes and offering and things like that. So if you have questions, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so let me just, to the initial bunch, let me just say Celicia Elkanah, Shabbat Shalom, sis. Terry Herner, Shabbat Shalom. Curtis Morgan, Shabbat Shalom. Evan Davis, how's it going, brother? Shabbat Shalom, blessings to you and your family. J.D. Mosley, thank you, brother. Shabbat Shalom to you too. And A+ Baltimore, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, and it says there's a few more on there. There's no one, they didn't say anything. Lotus Metamorphosis, Shabbat Shalom. Glad to have you guys with me today doing our quarantine style lessons. So let me just put that away. Actually, this lesson was by request. It really was. It was by request because someone had asked, had I done a lesson, on tithes and offering, and I did. But it was, man, it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I think the last time I did one. It's been a while. It's been a while. So I wanted to go ahead and revisit this, and I wanted us to get a true understanding, of tithes and offerings, because obviously if you go, look at the Sunday church, it's just basically go to Malachi and look, will a man rob God, so go ahead and pay your tithes. We even had, pastors talk about, no matter what, don't forget to send your tithes, still send your tithes. We even had the stimulus check challenge, send your money to the church, right? So I think a lot of it, I think most of it, I think 99% of it is bogus. Okay, sending your money to Sunday church, and we'll read, why would you send money to something that that's not bread? But they just got it, they just have it backwards. It's interesting how a lot of times the Sunday church, or these unbelievers who claim to be believers, they say they believe in the Bible and they want to believe in New Testament, pretty much New Testament only. They only want to be on the right side of the book, and the left side means nothing to them except the tithe. I find that very, very interesting, that they will preach the tithe, and then you say, well, can you preach it in the New Testament? And they're hard pressed to try to find how to really preach it, in the New Testament. And then when you are doing something, it's aggravating, it's irritating when you do something and they don't explain why you're doing something. It's just, hey, I just paid tithe, pay it to God, so you can get blessed and all, and that's it. But they don't get deeper into, okay, what is the tithe? What is this for? What are we supposed to be doing? What is this about, right? And some people, they'll pay a tithe at their own, detriment. Like they won't, pay their light bill, but they'll try to pay a tithe and things like that. And then they fall for all these platitudes in these in this Christianese. God can do more with 90% than what you can do with 100%, and just misteaching and just teaching it in such a way that it is to their advantage. It's interesting how a lot of the pastors, where you go to them, okay, and they tell you to go to God for money, but they themselves go to you for money. So I just find that very, very interesting, to say the least. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at the tithe. Okay, we're gonna look at really what it is. What's going on. Should you tithe? Can you tithe? What you tithe? And all this other stuff. Okay. Obviously you can. Okay, it's tithes and offerings. You can, but it's not. No one should have to manipulate you out of it. Okay. And certainly they should be at least explaining to you what the tithe is, what the Bible has to say about the tithe. And us, we're going to go all over the place, okay? We're going to go all over the place, okay? And maybe hit a couple of, some things you did know, and then some things you probably didn't. You're like, okay, interesting. I hadn't read that before. So let's go ahead and jump right in, right? So why we do this. So we're going to look at Psalm 24. I just want one verse. Psalm 24, the first verse. Okay, Psalm 24 and 1, which reads, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein." So this statement right here is just saying it all belongs to the Most High. It all belongs to the Most High, okay? And also, while I'm in here, if you guys, while we're doing this lesson, if you think of a topic that you want me to teach on, let me know, okay? This is a lesson by request, okay? So I got that idea from someone else too. You know, I'm just telling you guys, okay, if there's a particular lesson that we can at least spend an hour on, or if there's some small topics, okay, we can do upon further review. Some of you guys know I do like upon further review or something like that, where a particular topic may not warrant an entire hour or more, right? It's just a couple of scriptures here and there, and then some exposition. We can do that, okay? We can do that. So please put it in the comment section, put it in the chat, put it down there below. Let me know, hey, could you talk about this? Could you talk about that? And if I get enough of it, then I will go ahead and teach on it, okay? I'll go ahead and I'll teach on it. But please put it in the comment section below, and we'll go from there. I'll do whatever I can to go ahead and teach on that particular topic. That way you can get your questions answered. So let's go to Isaiah 55, okay? Isaiah 55, and we're going to do Isaiah 55, 1 and 2. Isaiah 55, 1 and 2. All right. Isaiah 55, 1 and 2. 1 goes this way. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. And he that has no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk, without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which is satisfied not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Now I want you guys to understand that he's not talking about, it's metaphorically speaking, he's not really talking about real bread and real milk and real wine, stuff like that. He said, why are you spending money? Why are you sending your tithe over to the Sunday church and you're not getting anything back? You're not learning anything. First, if you go to the first verse, first of all, they should not be selling you the truth, okay? They should not be selling you the Bible. They should not be selling that to you, period, okay? Freely you were given, freely give, okay? So I just teach the lessons, I learn it, I study it. I've been under the tutelage of those who were before me and knew a heck of a lot more than I did, okay? And then now I say, you know what, this burning, and I gotta teach this. I can't just just keep it to myself and say nothing when there's so many people searching for answers, and I just want to be a servant and a vessel to that. So why it says, come ye to the waters, and he that has no money, listen, he has no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. So to get this, okay, to get this understanding, it doesn't have to cost. All you have to pay is attention. That's all you have to do. Just pay attention. Okay, so we're not selling, you're not selling this truth. I see some people, they selling lessons and things like that. Now I understand certain things that you do may have like a cost, right? And you want to get support, right? The workman is, his worth is higher. Okay, so you want to get some support. Like I was doing DVDs, right? I was doing the lessons, and I'll put on DVD and stuff like that. Obviously, you can just do right here on YouTube. And I was doing DVDs, and people wanted me to send a DVD, but I have to have a DVD burner. Okay, I got to download it, which doesn't cost anything, but I got to get a burner. Okay, that's a component, and then I have to buy the CDs. Okay, and then I have to ship it to the people. Okay, and I had a stack, and it burned like 5 DVDs like at one time or something. It's like a big stack, a stack, and it just a little tower, and it just burn, and I can send it out, things like that. So yeah, you charge for that because that's not free, that type of thing. But no, you can get this word without spending. One person's like, well, could you just send? I'm like, well, you could just look at it on YouTube. That's how they found me in the first place. If you don't want to pay for the DVD, you could just look at it, on YouTube. That's fine. I have no problem with that. So let's go ahead and continue, guys. Leviticus 27. Let's go to Leviticus 27. Okay. Leviticus 27. Okay. And when we get to Leviticus 27, we're going to do 30 through 32. 27, 30 through 32. Look at this. 30 is, and all the tithe of the land, whether the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. Now, who does it belong to? Okay. The tithe, it belongs to him. And if a man will at all redeem out of his tithe, he shall add thereunto the fifth part thereof. Okay. And concerning the tithe of the herd or of the flock, even of whatsoever passeth under the rod, the tenth shall be holy unto the Lord. So the tenth, the tithe, when you pay your tithe, your 10% of your increase, okay, it belongs to the Most High. We just read in Psalms 24 that it all belongs to him anyway. So basically what we do when we tithe, we're just giving back what belongs to him in the first place, okay? We're going to go and, you look at Cain and Abel and all that. Tithing has been around. Abraham, it has been around before the law. We're just happen to be in the law right now, but it's been around, okay, before, I should say, Sinai, right? So paying a tithe is not just a Levitical thing because it actually was instituted before the Levitical priesthood. But the whole reason why you do it, and the whole reason why they did it, is because they already understand what we read in Psalm 24, that it all belongs to the Most High anyway. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go Hebrews 7, 1 and 2. Hebrews 7, 1 and 2. Okay, let's go to Hebrews 7, 1 and 2. Hebrews 7, 1 and 2. All right, so this is before the Levitical priesthood, right? And it says, for this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness, and after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace, or king of Salem or Shalom, king of peace, right? So let me see, we going through, just the first, the first two there. Okay, so we're not gonna get into the Melchizedek and who he is and all that. We're just saying that the priesthood first, that tithe, Abraham tithed in Melchizedek. He did not tithe in the Levitical priesthood. So it's been around. Okay, been around. So everybody went, oh well, that's not the law and all. No, I mean it is. It started with the Levitical. I mean, it started with this Abrahamic, okay, Melchizedek type thing. Also, it went even before that. You go to Genesis and you go Cain and Abel. Okay, it really went way before that. Okay, so you're just giving back. You just giving back to the Most High, giving back to the Most High. So let's go to Numbers 18. Let's go to Numbers 18. So I want to go to Numbers 18, 20. Start at 24 to 32. Numbers 18, 24 to 32. Okay, 18. I'm in chapter 24 right now, so let me get to chapter 18. 18, 24 to 32. Now, let's take a look at this, guys. Now we're going to get into it. But the tithe of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering unto the Lord, I have given to the Levites to inherit. I want you guys to catch this. The tithe goes to the Levites, okay? The tithe goes to the Levites, and the Lord said, I give it to them to inherit. Therefore, I have said unto them, among the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. Now, what is he talking about? He's talking about no inheritance of land, okay? We go over to Joshua, Joshua 13, which we'll go to later. We go over there to Joshua, and we see that they start to divide up the land between the 12 tribes, right? But Levite did not get a physical land inheritance, right? Their inheritance is one, the Lord, and the tithe, okay? That's their inheritance, right? So 25, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, when ye take of the children of Israel the tithes, which I have given you from them for your inheritance, then ye shall offer up a heave offering, so lift up, a heave, exalt, a heave offering, of it for the Lord, even a tenth part of the tithe. So even though the Levites received their tithes, received their money from the rest of the children, the other 11 tribes, they too had to take from that and tithe from that. Okay, they had to tithe from that. Now, obviously, the Levites were in the service of the Lord. You know, they work in the ministry of the Lord, the tabernacles, doing the sacrifices and things like that, offering the oblations and things like that. That was their job, right? So they can purge Israel of their sins. 27. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you as though it were the corn of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. So the threshing floor is like inside of a barn, on the barn floor, clearing, right? Inside of a barn, right? The threshing floor. All right, 28. Thus ye also shall offer a heave offering unto the Lord of all your tithes, which you received of the children of Israel, and ye shall give thereof the Lord's heave offering to Aaron the priest. Okay, so even the Levites, they got their tithe. I mean, they had no land, they didn't have any land, so they didn't have fruit and grain and corn and all this other stuff, and they didn't have herds and things like that, right? So the money that they received, not just money, they did have the herds and corns and stuff, but it was because the other 11 tribes gave it to them, right? They tithed it to them, gave it to the Levites, right? And from that, the Levites also had to provide a tithe. 29, out of all your gifts you shall offer every heave offering of the Lord, of all the best thereof, even the hollow part thereof, out of it, even the holy part, the best. You're going to give the Lord the best, the tenth, the best part of it. Okay, you're not going to just offer him anything. Okay, that's when you look at the story of Cain and Abel or whatever. You can't just offer anything. You got to offer the best, as he says. 30. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, when ye have heaved the best thereof from it, then it shall be counted unto the Levites as the increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress. And ye shall eat it in every place, ye and your households, for it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. This is how the Levites got it, to 32. And ye shall bear no sin by reason of it. Okay, so when you take of this, this tithe, when you take of the tithe of Israel, there is no sin. There's no sin in the Levites taking that, right? When you have heaved from it the best of it, neither shall ye pollute the holy things of the children of Israel, lest ye die. Okay, so, but be careful. Okay, don't pollute it. Don't corrupt it, right? So that's basically what it's saying. But this is, the tithe goes to the Levite, thus says the Lord. Okay, you guys with me? The tithe goes to the Levite, thus says the Lord. Now, let's go on over to Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 12. Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 12. Okay, Malachi 3, 8 through 12. And the new the New Testament church, the Brit Hadashah, the church, the Christian church, they love this one, okay? And it's fun how they plug this one out of the Old Testament. But all the laws are done away with. All the laws are done away with, but still you go creep right on over to Malachi to justify people sending you a tithe. Interesting. 3, 8. All right, we're gonna go through 8 through 12. So 8, it says, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offering. You are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even with this whole nation, I'm sorry. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. And prove me now wherein, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, said the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be a delightsome land, says the Lord of hosts. Okay, so very, very, very important that we give back that which belongs to the Most High. That's really what you're doing. So you're increased. So a lot of people are getting into homesteading and growing their gardens and fruits and herds and flocks and things like that. You can get back into practicing, this with tithe. They prepared it and they prepared the burnt offerings and things like that, tithing. But why? It's because it belongs to him anyway. Even in the New Testament, the Lord said, okay, Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, but render unto God what is God. The tithe belongs to the Most High, right? Now, he said give it to, the Levites. Now, we don't know who the Levites are today. I know there's some camps out there who think they know, who the Levites are, and, they're the Haitians and all that. Okay, I don't subscribe to that. There's no way to really prove that. Could they be? They could be, but I'm not teaching that. I don't go by a chart, okay? A chart of who Israel. I just know the probability of who Israel is and who's not, right? And it's not always, anyway, it's more than meets the eye, right? So at any rate, guys, the tithe belongs to the Most High. Now, he said give it to the Levite. The Levitical priesthood is pretty much destroyed now, pretty much destroyed, but still the tithe still belongs to him. Render unto God that which is God. Okay, so let's continue. So Genesis 14 and 14. So Genesis 14 through 20. Genesis 14 through 20. Okay, 14. And it says, and when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. Now, again, sidebar. But understand, people, they lived in the house. They lived in the household of another man, right? So he had three. Think about this. Abraham had 300 people. He can arm them and say, hey, let's go get this done. That's power. Okay, so part of living in community could be you submit yourself to someone's household and help and benefit from there. Okay, because remember, all of Abram's household was blessed when they did what Abraham said to do, and Abraham did whatever he heard the Father tell him to do, right? So even remember this, okay? Even when Abraham got the sign of the circumcision or whatever, what did he do? He and his entire household got circumcised, right? So you follow someone in righteousness, you can be saved. It says his whole household was saved. Now he's the one hearing from the Most High. The rest of them didn't, but they followed him. Every time start something gets in my throat. But got something on hand. So let's continue, guys. Let's keep going. 15. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Habah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. So Abraham and 300 of his men went riding. They posseed up, and they went and got Lot back, and everybody, all the goods, the women, the children, everybody, all the people, and brought them back. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Kedorlaomer and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shavah, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the king of the Most High God. The priest, he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him, and he said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, all this belongs to him. And blessed be the Most High God, which has delivered thine enemies into thy hands, gave you the victory. And he gave him tithes of all. He gave him tithes of all, okay? And let's see here. Okay, yeah, so stopping at 20. So he gave them tithes of all. So now you guys can see how this thing works. It's before the Levitical priesthood. They were already given. Why? Because they already have in their mind, if I have victory, it's because of the Most High. If I have these fruits and grains and vegetables, that is because of the Most High. If I start growing my flocks and my herds and all that, is because of the Most. It all belongs to him anyway. So let me give him the first tenth, the best. Okay, let me give that back to him, and then I'll do whatever I need to do with the rest. Okay, so that's firmly established. Okay, so this is not, hey, send me money, send me money. This is about understanding the tithe for what it is. Okay, and that way you can get you can hear it without the Sunday Christian bias on it, right? Let's just get, what does the Bible say about the tithe? That's all I need to know, right? You just say, man, just what does it say? Okay, that's what we want to do. All right. So we're going to continue. We're still in Genesis, but go to chapter 28. We're going to do 18 to 22. Genesis 28, 18 to 22. Okay, let's take a look at this. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, I will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall the Lord be my God. Or he's saying, I will surely serve him. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. So even Jacob said, hey, I'm going to give the tithe. I'm going to give the tenth. I'm going to give the tenth unto you. That's the tithe, right? That's tithe just means tenth anyway. Okay, so now we're starting to get an understanding of what's going on, and we're going to continue on that. So let me go. I want to show you a couple other things, since we're talking about, I don't want to go away from the Levitical priesthood so fast. So go with me over to Joshua 13. Okay, Joshua 13. Let's add that in there. Joshua 13. Let's see here. 13 and 33. Okay. Now, when you look at 13, you're going to look at how the land was, divided up and everything. But if we look at, after they do all that, we're going to look at 33. It says, but unto the tribe of Levi, Moses gave not any inheritance. The Lord God of Israel was their inheritance, as he said unto them. Okay, so just have an understanding that this is, in Joshua, they start to divide up the land, going to the promised land, divide up the land, but they gave nothing to Levi. Okay, but we're not done. So they're not going to have an inheritance. So let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Okay, Deuteronomy 18. Go back one book, Deuteronomy 18, and we're going to look at it a little bit more. I want you guys to understand who was given. Okay, 18. So Deuteronomy 18, 1 through 7. Deuteronomy 18, 1 through 7, which reads, the priest, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel, that shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. That's where they're going to get their substance, right? Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he has said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder and the two cheeks and the maw, okay, given in their portion, whether it's ox or sheep, the part that's going to be the Levites. 4. The first fruit also of thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all the tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel, where he sojourn, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, and all his brethren, the Levites, do, which stand there before the Lord. Okay, so it's telling us, it's letting us know everything that the Levites are charged to do, right? So they're going to be, basically the Levites are going to live among the other tribes, right? So the other tribes, they're going to have some land. So you can go over here, this area, this space is for Judah, this is for, Ephraim and Manasseh, for Naphtali, and so on and so forth, and Dan, and all the rest, right? But among them were Levites, because Levites were the priests, basically butchers. But Levites, they prepared the sacrifice for everyone. You know, people were coming and offering daily sacrifices for everything: burnt offerings, sin offerings, free will offerings, all kinds of, peace offerings, everything, meat offerings. So the Levites, they had work to do every day, because people was coming to them every day, okay, want to purge themselves, obviously. So there's some daily, then there's some weekly, and then there's annually, okay, because the sacrifices were getting, just running rampant. So anyway, they had, that's their job, right? They were to make an atonement for the sins of the people. So they didn't have time to run everyone else, right? But the tithe was their portion. Let's continue. Deuteronomy, I want to read 8 and 9. Chapter 10, let's read 8 and 9. Deuteronomy chapter 10, 8 and 9. 8 reads this way. At that time, the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister unto him, and to bless in his name unto this day. Wherefore Levi had no part nor inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord thy God promised him. Okay? So, are we starting to understand? Okay, we're starting to kind of get it. Okay, the Levites, we got one more. Go to Ezekiel 44, okay? I want to go Ezekiel 44. I got one more, and then we're going to move on. So we're going to do Ezekiel 44, and I want 28 to 30. Okay. You guys still hanging in there? Give me a 100 if you hear me and you're still hanging in there. You with me? Give me a 100. So 44, 28 to 30. Okay. 28 reads this way. And it shall be unto them for inheritance. I am their inheritance. And ye shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. And they shall eat the meat offering and the sin offering and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs. Are we starting to understand? 30. And the first of all, the first fruits of all things, and every oblation of every sort of your oblations shall be the priests. You shall also give unto the priest the first of your dough, that he may cause the blessing to rest in thy house. So he's going to do that so that you can be blessed and your house can be blessed. So he's performing the service of the Lord. Okay. I hope you guys are starting to, it's starting to sink in of the role of the Levites. Okay. They are the priests. Now, Israel as a whole, we are priests to all the other nations. We are priests to the Gentiles. Okay. We're supposed to be a light unto the Gentiles. I know that doesn't seem that way, considering all the things that are going on right now in the world, okay? But Israel is the priest to the Gentiles, and the Levites are the priests to Israel. Now, we are under the order of Melchizedek, because you don't have the Levitical priesthood, okay? So we're under that order of Melchizedek with the Messiah, Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, whichever you guys prefer, is in that role now. The high priest, he's at the right hand of the Father right now, okay, pleading on our behalf. So we'll go from there. Let's go up to Hebrews chapter 7. We're going to go 4 through 10. Hebrews chapter 7, 4 through 10. Okay, 7, we're going to read 4 through 10, which says, now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoils. We're talking about Melchizedek again, right? Because we don't have the Levitical priesthood. And verily, they are of the sons of Levi, who received the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, though they came out of the loins of Abraham. Okay, so the Levites came out of the loins of Abraham, right? He's like grandfather. But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises. Okay, so it's like the other way around. Okay, Abraham didn't come from Levi. Levi came from Abraham. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. And here men that died received tithes, but there he received them of whom it is witness that he liveth. And as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithe, paid tithes in Abraham, because Levi came from Abraham and not the other way around. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. See, that's what he's talking about. So the tithe came before Levi came to be. But you guys know that by now. So I wanted to point that out to you guys just to have a healthy understanding. Let us continue. Matthew 23. We're going to get verses 1 through 4 and then verse 23. So Matthew 23. Verses 1 through 4 and verse 23. Matthew 23, first 4 verses. It says, Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to the disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. Now listen. This is the part where a lot of the Sunday Christianity just miss it, right? This is the part I want you guys to catch this, because this is when they say, oh, the law is done away with, right? Look at what he said. He said, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, whatever they tell you to do, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So they sit in Moses' seat. What did Moses represent? He represented the law. Can we all agree on that? He represented the law. And then he said, okay, everything they tell you to do, according to Moses, do it. But don't look at their actions and do, because they say, but they don't do, right? So, law's not done away with. Okay, so we're talking about the tithe, which is also a law. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and they lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Meaning they ask you to do all this extra stuff, all this. You have these the extra books, and it'll come to me in a minute, just because I need to think of it right now. But they want you to do all these extra things that the Lord did not tell you to do, but they want you to do it, but they won't do it themselves. So they make it something we already have to do. They're making it burdensome. And when people discover, hey, you know what, we need to keep the law. We need to get back to Torah. They find it to be a burden. They find it to be a big deal. They find it to be the Talmud. That's the Jewish text, the Talmud. Okay, which is rabbinical interpretations of the law, right? And a lot of their commentary and things like that. So if you want to do that, they're just adding more things to it, right? And he doesn't want you to add more things on top of it. But they say, we're not adding, we're just interpreting. Okay, well, no, sir. No. Verse 5. No, I wanted the first 4. Yeah, the first 4, because they didn't want to do anything. Let's go to 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. You're supposed to do these things: the justice, the mercy, and the faith. And we can go in the Old Testament and find, judgment, justice, mercy, faith, and all that. So we can do that. Okay, those things are very, very important. Okay, very important. But they're not showing you. They're not telling you these things, and that's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. This is what the Messiah was talking about. We're not done. James 2, 8 through 12. James 2, 8 through 12. Let's do that. James 2, 8 through 12. And it says this: If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. Exactly. Okay, so they're talking about the last 10 of that, the last 10 of the top 10, the big 10, the 10 commandments. It's the last 6, actually. It's the last 6 of them that has to do with the rest of us, right? The first 4 has to do with how we love God, right? So, verse 9. But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all, right? And this is how he says this is why. For he that says, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, or murder in this case, thou art become a transgressor of the law. Okay, because it's really do not murder. But anyway, so he says, y'all become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. So it's not burdensome. The law of liberty. So we just here, we talking about do not kill, don't commit adultery. We know what laws he's talking about, right? We know he's talking about the Big Ten, right? And so that's what he's making a reference. And he still call it the law of liberty, okay? It's still the law of liberty. That, that Sunday church got your mind messed up. They got you thinking that Torah is this yoke to put around your neck and weigh you down. Not true. That's what they want you to think. That's what the enemy wants you to think, that it's a big, big deal. New Testament said his commandments are not grievous. They're not burdensome. Okay? But that's okay. We're still talking about the tithe. It's all part of the law anyway. Okay? We're still talking about it. Nehemiah 13, 4 through 12. Nehemiah 13, 4 through 12. Nehemiah 13. We're going to go 4 through 13. Nehemiah 13, 4 through 13. Okay. And therefore, this Eliashib, the priest, having an oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was allied unto Tobiah. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priests. But in all the time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. So he's like, okay, I was free to go for a little bit. Okay. And I came to Jerusalem and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah, in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God, and it grieved me sore. Therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I commanded, and they cleansed the chambers, and thither brought I again the vessels of the house of God with the meat offering and the frankincense. And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled every one to the field. Then contended I with the rulers and said, why is the house of God forsaken? And I have gathered them together and set them in their place. Then brought all Judah the tithe of the corn and the new wine and the oil unto the treasuries. And I made treasurers over the treasuries, Shelemiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe of the Levites, Pedaiah, and next to them was Hanan the son of Zakur, the son of Mattaniah. For they were counted faithful, and their office was to contribute unto their brethren. So, yeah, Nehemiah, he said, look, this is messed up. You guys totally just lost it, okay? Totally lost it, okay? This is when Artaxerxes was in rulership. Like, you guys lost it, man. You guys are not tithing. Y'all not even allowing, the Levites to do their job. In fact, you ran them off. Okay, you ran them off. They're not getting the tithe because, again, they had no inheritance. They had no lands and houses and all those other things, that they can just go out and acquire. Why? Because they had to keep with the chambers, the inner court, the tabernacles, the business of the Most High God. They had to keep doing that. Now, this is even in captivity, coming out of captivity. Now, Nehemiah was like on the outside, Daniel was on the inside, and all that. But still, this is during the time of captivity. Same thing. So he said, man, we got to straighten this back up. They went a long time. You look at Ezra, they went a long time without doing the feast days at all. And they got back to it. They're like, wait a minute, this is crazy, okay? So what I want to do is let you guys know that, hey, we might want to look at this tithe too, especially those you're coming out and everything. You may want to look at this, okay? You may want to look at this tithe thing too, because we want to be as Torah observant as we possibly can. We have to do our very best to try to get this done. Okay, what does that look like? A lot of times it look like that's the firstlings, of the first year. You have these trees and things. You have fruit trees first year. You give that to God. Okay, you don't eat that off the first tree. Okay, when it first bears fruit, stuff like that. Just follow Torah, be obedient, and be sacrificial. Okay, so we're going to continue. Proverbs 3. Let's go to Proverbs 3, and I want to get 6 through 10. Proverbs 3, 6 through 10. Okay, and it says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." My point exactly. "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil." What I'm trying to preach to you. "And it shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruit of all thine increase." Let's keep it biblical. "It shall burst out with new wine." Is that not what you want? Okay, is that not what you want when we come into this pandemic and we're gonna experience food shortages? There's a way you can get prepared. You get out on your land. It's time for you to start getting which belongs to the Most High. Give it to. Let's continue. All right, let's look at Leviticus 27. We're going to jump around a little bit. Leviticus 27. I want verses 1 through 5, verses 9 through 16, and verse 26. At the end of the day, my message is for all of us to encourage one another to be obedient. We all slip, fall, mess up, ignorant of something. Get back on the path and be obedient. Okay? So 27. First 5 verses, which reads like this. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for the Lord by thy estimation." I want you guys to listen to this, okay? Because it's a little different. "And thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be," now he said that would be 50 shekels, right? And in verse 4 it says, "And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels." Okay, so much for all, men and women are created equal. We have different roles, okay? So much for the equal stuff, right? Verse 5, "And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old," so this is from a 5-year-old up to 20, "then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels." Again, male, female, and there's a difference in the shekels of silver that you have to give, okay? And verse 6, "If it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old," so born all the way up to 5 years old, "then thy estimation shall be for the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver." So we've seen a distinction. We've seen a difference right here, right? But okay, we'll keep going. 7. "And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then thy estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. So are we starting to understand what is going on? Okay, so we have that. Now let me go to verse 9. "And if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy." Okay, so this is him trying to give, okay, his sacrifice he's trying to give to the Lord. Verse 11, "And if it be any unclean beast, of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, then he shall present the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, or thou values it, as thou values it. Who art the priest?" Those are the ones who are going to make a determination of what's its worth. "So shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a fifth part thereof unto thy estimation. Okay, so he's going to add a fifth of to the estimation. See what else we have there. All the way to 16. Okay. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad, as the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. Whatever the priest say it is, that's what it is, right? And if he that sanctify it, okay, or set it apart, will redeem his house, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his. And if a man shall sanctify unto the Lord some part of a field of his possession, then thy estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. An omer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. So how he's going to, I want to sacrifice, I want to offer this up to the Most High, and this is how the priest kind of estimate, what that sacrifice is, right? And what this offering is. So he's just kind of adding unto that. The last place I wanted to put was verse 26. Only the firstlings of the beasts, which should be the Lord's firstling, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be ox or sheep, it is the Lord's. Okay, so he's just talking about the things that belong to him, that belongs to the Most High, right? So I want to give you guys a few more, and then I'll let you guys go. Again, questions, please ask those questions, and also if you have topic suggestions that you want me to teach on, okay, I will do that. Put it in the comment section below, and those who are not joining me live, put it, those who are live, put it in the chat. Those who are not live or watching this, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go, I got a couple more I wanna go to, and I'll let you guys go. Let's go on over to, let's get our last 3 spots. Malachi 1. Let's do that. Malachi chapter 1. I want 6 through 14. Okay? Malachi 1, 6 through 14. A son honored his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is my honor? This is Most High talking. And if I be a master, where is my fear? Says the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised? Say, wherein have we polluted thee? Ye say, the table of the Lord is contemptible. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto me, governor. Will he be, offer it now unto thy governor, will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person, says the Lord of hosts. So he's just saying, you don't want to offer me the best. That's when you go back and you look at in Genesis over in 4, 1 through 7, where Cain, he didn't offer the best. Abel offered the best, right? And we saw in different places where it says, okay, give me the first tenth, the best of the healthy, the best of your fruit, the best of your crop, the best of your oil, the best of, give him the first. So he said, you wouldn't offer this to your governor, you wouldn't offer this to someone who's ruling over you, so why would you offer that to me? Why is that good? Why are you going to give me some old polluted bread? When you look at verse 7, why are you going to offer me polluted bread like that? Why? Okay, so that's what he's saying. And verse 9, and now I pray thee, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This has been by your means. This is your fault. Will he regard your person, said the Lord of hosts? Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do you kindle fire on my altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, said the Lord of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering of your hand. If you don't do it right, I don't want it from you. Okay? Don't come over here with that. The Most High is saying, no, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna say, you would not give this unacceptable sacrifice. Tied in after, or does it have to be in money or things only? Yeah, tithe is gonna have to be something physical, right? It could be, the food, the things that those things that you grow, or a herd of animals that you raise, and you give that back to God. Okay, and sacrifice it. Of course, they cook it, they burn it, they cook it. But you do that, or they burn it, right? Or they burn it. Now the Levites, for the most part, they ate it. but you burn it, you sacrifice it unto the Most High. Right? I'd have to look and see that other things, like an action that you're saying, that an action can be like a sacrifice. I mean, I know they say, but that's not a tithe, right? They say our prayers, Old Testament, it says, our prayers are sacrifice, the sacrifice of our lips and things like that. That's a sacrifice, but that's not a tithe, okay? So, we continue. We're going to read all the way up to 14, all right? He said, I won't take it at your hand. Verse 11. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering, for my name shall be great among the heathen, said the Lord of hosts. But ye have profaned it, in that ye say, the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. That's what they are saying, the Israelites at the time. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it? Okay, this is basically getting on my nerves. This is a big deal. And ye have snuffed at it, said the Lord of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick animals, torn, lame, beat up, diseased animals, things like that. Thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this at your hand, said the Lord? But curse be the deceiver, which has in his flock a male, and vowed and sacrificed unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, said the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. My name is dreadful among the heathen. You cannot just offer any old thing to the Most High, is what he's saying. I'm not going to accept it. If you know that is not your best, you're not offering your best, don't even bother. I don't even accept it if that's not your best. I am a great king. You need to treat me like a great king. Thus says the Lord. Okay, so let's go ahead. Our last couple of places. Let's go to Haggai. Okay, we only got 2 more places. Haggai is 1. Go back, 2 books. Okay, go back a little bit. Okay, so it's going to be Haggai, okay, chapter 1. Just read verse 1 through 11. Okay, in the 2nd year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the 1st day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and Joshua the son of Josedek, the high priest, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste? Now, therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. Thus said the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the houses, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, said the Lord. Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little. And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why, says the Lord of hosts? Because of my house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house. Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from their fruit. Okay, so he's telling you why you're going to have a hard time. And I call for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands. Okay, as he said, if you're not gonna give me what belongs to me, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have a hard time. You're not going to just offer me anything. You're not going to just offer me the lame and the sick, and you don't want this part anyway. You're going to give me what's mine anyway. You're going to give me what's mine, and then I'll bless you. It's his protocol. It's mine anyway. The reason why you have any fruit coming out of the ground or coming off that tree is because I say so, because I allow it. The only reason why, you read in Deuteronomy, it says, it is because of God, because of the Most High, that you have the power to even make money, right? The reason why you can even draw an income, however you draw it. I'm not talking about illegally, but legally. however you draw it, is because he allows it. You can be broke and destitute. You can make no money. So if you're faithful for the little bit, he'll give you much more. Okay? So we just have to understand that. This is what he's saying. This is what he's trying to let us know. We'll go to our last place. Go to Exodus 25. Okay? We want to go to our last place. Exodus chapter 25. Right? And we're going to go 1 through 22. Exodus chapter 25, 1 through 22. That's our last spot. Let's get it done. Exodus 25, 1 through 22. Let's jump right in. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willing with his heart, ye shall take my offering. Willing with his heart, not compulsion, not, hey man, you really, no, this is willing with your heart. He likes the attitude of your giving as well. Okay, he said, for the Lord loves a cheerful giver. Okay, in the New Testament, right? And this is the offering which ye shall take of them, gold and silver and brass. Now this is the tithe. Okay, look at what you take. Okay, we already know about flocks and herds and all that stuff and fruit and all that. But it says, take of them gold and silver and brass and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair. Okay, these are the things you can give. You want to give fine linen and goat's hair? Okay, great. And ram skin dyed red and badger skin and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I showed thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof. Even so shall ye make it. Okay. Now, of course, this is when they were getting into the Levitical priesthood. They started putting. That's how the Levitical priesthood had these particular garbs and had these 12 different stones and all that stuff, and just all this stuff they had to give. Okay, as a tithe, it belonged to the Most High. Verse 9, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. Verse 10, and they shall make an ark of shittim wood. Okay, so we're talking about the Ark of the Covenant. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half, the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half, the height thereof. Okay, these are measurements. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold within and without shall thou overlay it, so it's going to be covered in that, and shall make upon it a crown of gold around about. Okay, so it's going to show you, this is how the ark, I want you to go in your mind and what the Ark of the Covenant may have looked like, right? You can do some Google images as well, and it's pretty close. All right, so it says, and thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. The 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. Okay, so all these long staves, these long sticks, they stick them through the hole of the covenant on either side, and then people can carry it. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the side of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them, or moved. That's what I mean by borne. It can be moved around with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark of the testimony, which I give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold. Cherubims are angels, okay? 2 cherubims of gold. Of beaten work shalt thou make them. So they're going to be carved, basically, sculpted, molded, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub, one on the end, and the other cherub on the other end. So one's going to be on one side of the covenant, and the other one's going to be on the other side. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. Okay, so 2 cherubims, right? And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. Okay, so you have 2 cherubim. You have one on this side of the ark and one on that side, and their wings are going to stretch out and cover and be over just like that, right? And covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to the other. So they're going to be facing the 2 faces of the cherubims, going to be looking directly at each other. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be, because the mercy seat is right in the middle, right? And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. The testimony, like the 2 tablets inside that, right? Because he said in Moses, he said, this is the ark of this is the testimony, okay, the 10 commandments. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark shall put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony. And I, of all things which I give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Okay, so all this was given back to the children of Israel. All these things are given back to the children of Israel. I want you guys to understand that. So this is when they made, the Ark of the Covenant and everything. And, the same covenant that if you touch it with your bare hands, you die, So we understand that. So I just want to give you guys an understanding of the tithe and what it is, okay? Tithe is material, okay? It's material things, whether it be food, fruit, vegetables, corn, wine, oil, it could be money, it could be those things, but you give those things to the Most High, okay? You can give a tithe and offering to a ministry, or if you live in community, whatever. If they're doing the work of the Lord, if they are actually teaching you, if you are being taught, because it said, why give that to which is not bread? Why are you going to give something that you're not being satisfied? Why? Okay, why would you give that? So if you are learning something, you are getting something. If the pastor is teaching you with knowledge and understanding, then you help. You continue. You help with that. Okay? Hallelujah. Let's continue here. Let's see what we have here. Okay, look like, okay, so cool, Sandra Page, how you doing, shalom, all right, guys, so, I like to try to keep it around an hour, hour and a half, at best. I am done. Before I go, like, share, subscribe, put in the comment section below, okay, put it below that, hey, you know what, could you teach a lesson on whatever it is, fill in the blank, let me know. Let me see if I get some interest in that, and we will go from there. Shalom, one and all. Shalom, Sanji Page. So, thank you, Lisi, for putting the scriptures in the chat for the people. Shabbat shalom to everyone joining me on this program. It is always a pleasure to come and bring the word of the Most High to you guys as best as we understand. We study to show ourselves approved, guys. So, it's always an honor to be with you guys. Again, like, share, subscribe. Put your comments in section below. If you have a question, drop that in there. And enjoy and worship and praise for the rest of the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is His Sabbath. Search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom.